I got an old guitar and his name is Bob. Writing songs and singing is our full-time job. Been around the world and seen lots of things. The only thing that Bob enjoys are brand new strings. Now we've been to Portland, Oregon, and the Portland that's in Maine, and the Madrid in New Mexico, and the Madrid that's in Spain, and the Paris in California, and the Paris that's in France, and the famous Rome in Italy, and the one in Georgia just by chance, and Aurora, Colorado, and Aurora, Illinois, Australia, and New Zealand, and Bora Bora, boy. And we've been to Frankfurt, Germany, and Frankfurt, Indiana. We ate mussels down in Brussels and worked cattle in Montana. Got an old guitar and his name is Bob. Writing songs and singing is our full-time job. Been around the world and seen lots of things. The only thing that Bob enjoys are brand new strings. Yeah! We've seen the icy land of Greenland and the green of Iceland too, Alaska and Nebraska and the Homestead, Florida Zoo. And we've been to Oxford, England and to Oxford, Mississippi, and we sing in San Francisco where we met a former hippie. And we've been to towns that end with falls like Idaho and Sioux and Klamath and Niagara and Okanagan too. We've been to Seoul, Korea, and ate soul food in LA. Said aloha to Hawaii, that's our favorite place to stay. Got an old guitar and his name is Bob. Writing songs and singing is our full-time job. Been around the world and seen lots of things. The only thing that Bob enjoys are brand new strings. Yeah, that's right. Well, we got an old guitar and his name is Bob. He got that name in Omaha while playing on the job. The kids that gave it to him said they really liked that name. We travel for the fun of it, never for the fame. Yeah. Hi, I'm Dan Crow, and that was the title song from my show called As the Crow Flies. These songs and stories tell about my experiences traveling around the world, multicultural, multilingual program, and features a lot of songs that deal with word origins, word etymology, and also I tie in a lot of my reading, writing, and rhythm program, which is, of course, has to do with language arts and phonemic awareness, phonics, and vocabulary development. Was recently in Korea during these travels, and an example of this, I was performing a song that I wrote about dogs for the sound of the letter D. Something very interesting happened from that. Do a little bit of the song. Dogs, 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 dogs. Dogs do dig, but dogs don't dance. I wonder why dogs don't wear pants. And dogs don't do just what they should. And dogs do not know bad from good. Dogs. Dogs. Well, I want to be a dog. I'd like to be a dog. I'd love to be a dog. I think I'll be a dog. I think I'll be a dog. Roar! 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 Rah, rah. Arr, arr, arr. Dogs. Dogs. And at the end of the song, I do the dog. So what happened at the end of the song, some of the students came up to me, the Korean students, and they asked me, they said, "Hey, Dan Crow, how did you do that dog sound?" And I said, well, in English, if we're writing about a dog or reading about a dog, we put down that the dog goes arf, arf, or bark, bark, or woof, woof. But they told me something interesting. In Korean, when they hear the dog sound, they say that the dog goes mung, mung. And I checked it. I found a great book about that at the library, my favorite place, that talked about animal sounds in different languages. For example, in Spanish, we say a dog goes wow, wow. And in Japanese, you say a dog goes wan, wan. And in Germany, they say a dog go vow, vow. And not only dogs, but other animals too. For example, a bird, we would say chirp, chirp, or tweet, tweet, right? But in Spanish, you say pio, pio, pio. And in Japan, it's chichi papa. So I love learning things like that, and I decided I'm going to do a little song about that to help myself remember it, finding out about different animal sounds in different languages. Here we go. Well, the dogs in America go arf, arf. The dogs in America go bow, wow. But the dogs in Japan go wan, wan. In Mexico, they go wow, wow. Animal sounds are not the same the whole world wide. Now the birds in America go chirp, chirp. The birds in America go tweet, tweet. But the birds in Japan go chichi papa. And in Mexico they go pee, 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 pio, pio, pio. Yeah, and animal sounds are not the same the whole world wide. It's fun to dabble in animal babble. Fun to hear what the animals say. Fun to dabble in animal babble as the animals babble away. Oh yeah. A little bit of that one. Thank you. Anyway, so there's one of the things I try to include. And also, I love, as I mentioned, word origins, word etymology. During my travels, I was recently in England, for example, and I was in a little village called Sandwich. And of course, I asked the people, where does the word sandwich have anything to do with the sandwich that we eat? And they said, well, yes, it does. Of course it does. So they told me this whole wonderful story about it. And I thought the best way to get this across and to teach this would be to make a song up about it. So I'll do a little bit of this one. This is the sandwich. In 1762, a Britisher named Montague was playing cards with a royal bunch when he could not stop to eat his lunch. Now the servants brought him some bread and meat and other things so good to eat. So just before the next card deal, he made up something for his meal. He made the sandwich, he made the sandwich. John Montague made up the sandwich. He made the sandwich, he made the sandwich. John Montague made up the sandwich. He took peanut butter, jelly, mayonnaise, and honey, ketchup and liverwurst and tuna, bologna, coleslaw, beans, sprouts, avocados, lettuce, tomatoes and onions and mustard and cheese, and put it all between two slices of bread. Made a sandwich. He made a sandwich. John Montague made up the sandwich. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then on. And it also continues to talk about Captain Cook, his best friend, who discovered the Sandwich Islands over in the Pacific Ocean, and they were later renamed the Hawaiian Islands. Also, I mentioned that I like to do songs about phonemic awareness. Used to be a speech therapist and a reading teacher, and so for many years I created these songs that had to do with letter sounds. Probably one that you might know that I actually was the first person to record, and I did write the music to this originally, is this song. I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas, and I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas, and I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas, and I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to eat, 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 eat. I like to eat apples and bananas. I like to oat, oat. I like to oat apples and bananas. I like to oat. I like to oat opals and bananas, and I like to oot, 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 oot. I like to oot, oopals and bananas. I like to oot, 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 oot. I like to oot, oopals and bananas, and now I am through, 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 through. Now I am through with A-E-I-O-U, and sometimes Y, and sometimes W too. Yeah. So there is an example of that, vowels and consonants. I love to do songs about that. And in the realm of language arts, as part of my reading, writing, and rhythm program, I do also include vocabulary songs. Well, the sandwich is an example because that's word origin, etymology, and also parts of speech too. I love doing things about, adjectives and nouns and pronouns. For example, adjectives and nouns. And different musical styles too is important. So I try to do things in country, rock, blues, jazz, styles. Well, I just saw this slimy snail crawling on the ground. Slimy is the adjective and snail is the noun. And I just saw this hairy spider walking on the ground. Hairy is the adjective and spider is the noun. Adjectives and nouns, adjectives and nouns. They are each parts of speech, those adjectives and nouns. And then I saw these purple shoes walking on the ground. Purple is the adjective and shoes is the noun. And I just saw these crazy socks lying on the ground. Crazy is the adjective, socks is the noun. Adjectives and nouns, adjectives and nouns. They are each parts of speech, those adjectives and nouns. Thank you. And so there you go. Those are the ideas. I do incorporate some movement songs into my program. For example, with preschool groups, I like to do simple movement type songs. I have one that we've all heard the term crisscross applesauce all over the country. And I decided I'm going to put that into a song and came up along these lines. Crisscross applesauce, hands in lap. Crisscross applesauce, pancake flat. Crisscross applesauce, let's all clap. Crisscross applesauce, take a nap. Oh, sorry, fell asleep there. Wiggle your feet and wiggle your toes. Wiggle your eyes and wiggle your nose. Wiggle your tongue, wiggle your face. Now wiggle yourself all over the place. Yeah, 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 yeah. Whoa, crisscross applesauce, hands in lap. Crisscross applesauce, pancake flat. Crisscross applesauce, let's all clap. Yeah, now crisscross applesauce, take a... I'm not going to take it out. Thanks. Anyway, so that's the idea, doing the 3 particularly unique shows as The Crow Flies, rhythm, reading, writing, and rhythm, and my preschool show, which is I enjoy doing too. And that's, I think, pretty much it. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.